So I am Stacia, and this is my husband, John. And we have been talking about doing content creation for a while now. So we're finally going to start, and this is our first video, and it's going to be couples questions. We had a few people send us in some questions that they would like for us to answer, and that is what this video is going to be about today. Um, we're super excited, and I'm super nervous.
Yay. All right, question one. Do you still date each other or has children and life consumed you?
So I wouldn't say children consumed us. I'd say Jack consumed us
Yes.
because before we had our youngest Jack, we dated. It was easier because our kids when we got married. My daughter was 7. His oldest was 10 at the time. The youngest was 4 at the time, so it was easier to find somebody to keep them for a couple hours versus keeping a baby
A crazy
or
baby.
a crazy baby, hence the name Jack, or a toddler. But we do date as a family. Like we definitely love to take our kids on dates, and we still enjoy ourselves that way. But our oldest just turned 13. She's going on 14, and she has offered to babysit. So we're looking forward to that.
Excited. All right. How did step parenting come for each of you? Was it easy, difficult for either of you?
I'll let you answer that first.
At first it was hard. No, at first I thought it was easy. Like I thought, you know, it should be a cakewalk. Like I got 2 kids already. What's a third? But I've come to learn that it was very hard. Having to learn a whole new kid, who I just met, you known her for 7 years prior. So it's like you already know how she is. So
Her getting used to having a father
yeah,
because her dad was not in the picture for those 7 years and continuing. But the two of them bumped heads a little bit, but he still loved her and she still loved him. They still were able to create like this beautiful bond that they have, but she's a little feisty one and he's very stubborn. So they bumped heads a tiny bit. It wasn't anything concerning or that I felt like, oh, this isn't gonna work, but he definitely it wasn't a cakewalk for him. For me, did you want to add any more to that?
no,
For me, it was easy for the oldest because she was 10 years old and my daughter was 7. And I kind of have a way with little girls. It was hard for our oldest son for me, which at the time was John's second child, his youngest son at the time. Um, well, his only son at the time, but he was the youngest. It was hard for me because I didn't know how to go about parenting him in a way. And then we had a little situation where there was a bit of a block um, in the way of us together being allowed to parent him the way that we wanted to parent him. We'll get on what the block was on in a different situation. We're still fighting that block till this day. But it was a bit of a struggle, but now I think we're past it. That's my baby, that's my son, and I love him with all of my heart. And when we talk about our kids, it's not like, oh, my stepchild or like my stepdaughter or my stepson. It's our kids. Like we have 4 kids as a whole. So now I think it's very easy. And John is actually trying to move forward with adopting my um our daughter, but my daughter that we were just speaking of that was 7 at the time that he had come into her life.
who's the more emotional one?
Me.
This one.
100% me. I've always been an emotional being, and I don't know if that'll ever change.
Probably not. Who's the more patient one? Well, this
John.
one's easy. Um, she's more patient within us and especially me. and I would say I'm more patient with the kids.
100%. Because something about that middle child and the youngest that be driving me completely insane.
They're chill with me.
And they don't, obviously, there's this stigma that like the kids are better with the dad than they are with the daughter. I mean, with the daughter, with the mother. That's 100% true. My youngest son is a terrorizer with me versus what he is with his dad. Even my middle child, my daughter Olivia, she gives me a run for my money, and she's not bad. None of our children are bad at all. But she challenges me for sure. She's very intelligent and she challenges me. Now, our oldest, she's fine with me. Our oldest boy, he's fine with me. But something about that middle child and that youngest,
How did we meet? Facebook. So no.
we didn't meet through Facebook.
Craig and Tisha.
My sister Tisha is dating his best friend slash brother, Craig, and we knew of each other for a few years, and he was in like a very toxic relationship
She
and
saved me.
a toxic and a bit of abusive relationship. And my sister would always tell me about this relationship because they were best friends. So he any information he would give to Craig, Craig would talk to his girlfriend about it, and my sister would come and tell me, and I'd be like, "Well, I'm finna go ahead and message him." And my sister's like, "No, no, don't do it, don't do it." And I didn't do it. I didn't do it for like 2 years. I didn't contact him about the relationship, because we are not home wreckers. But finally, when it got to a point where it got really bad, I did reach out to him and just kind of be like, "Hey, I know you're in like a tough spot, and I just kind of want to be a friend to you." Just and once that happened, he just kind of dumped his girlfriend and was like, "Yeah, we're done." And now we're together and married.
Left the zero and got with the hero.
And I did not take this man away from his woman. We were friends, and I was just like an ear for him to kind of lean on, and it wasn't biased at all. Like I told him when he did things wrong too, like, and he was very open and accepting to the feedback. But eventually it led to them breaking up and then him being with me, and now we're married with 4 kids.
What does an argument look like between the two of us? Uh,
I want to say we don't argue, but we do have disagreements.
yeah, disagreements. I might say something smart. It'll piss her off. You know, we might need some space from each other for a quick second. But it usually leads down to us either forcing one another to talk or coming together and like
Mhm.
communicating.
We do not yell and scream at each other.
I did
The,
one time, and I think that was the last time because she almost left me.
he yelled at me one time in the very beginning of our relationship, and I was like, "Don't scream at me. Don't you ever scream at me again." And I said it just like that, like in a calm voice. I was very calm. I was like, "Do not scream at me again."
I think
And
that was my learning curve, and
never
I
again.
learned to be patient
Hmm.
in
And
our
we
communicating.
we just talk to each other. We don't. It's no need to yell and scream in our house. The most we're yelling and screaming, it's not even when we're like play arguing. We're yelling and screaming because we're just crazy and we're loud and we like to scream and run around the house like crazy people
Chasing the kids around.
chasing the kids. But we do not yell or scream or raise our voices at each other at all. It does not happen in our house. Like you said, that happened one time. I've never screamed at him. Um, have I screamed at you?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm like, have it happened? Has it happened? I just don't remember. I don't think I've ever screamed at him. He screamed at me once, and then that was it. And anytime that we have a disagreement, it's literally us just talking to each other. I cry sometimes, but I'm an emotional being, so it's not necessarily like anything he did wrong. I'm just a crybaby. But yeah, no screaming or yelling. We don't really argue. We just have disagreements, and then we communicate through that and figure it out.
How do you handle parenting when you can't agree? Pretty much agree on everything.
Yeah, I don't think we have disagreements when it comes to parenting. We both have the same
Pretty much a
goals for our
mindset.
children. Yeah, the same mindset. Um, and we're both very gentle. Sometimes I can be a little more gentle with I'll say with Christian, because not necessarily with both the boys, but with Christian, I try and be a little more gentle. Um, we'll get into why in a different topic. This might not be the time for that conversation.
Uh,
But John is not harsh on him or anything, but I just know that as a mom, as a black mom, I have to be very soft and very gentle with that because he may be lacking in those areas.
when did you know he or she was the one? Um, for me, I pretty much knew it when I was in a rough spot. I'm not gonna get into detail, but I was in a very rough spot, and she drove 15 hours to come and get me. That's when I knew. I was like, she's truly the one. Like, she's the one.
For me, it was before he even came. Um, he was very gentle with me, and I think as a woman, as a black woman, I needed that because people look at me and think that they have to just be rough with me. I don't know if it's because I'm brown skinned, I don't know if it's colorism, I don't know what it is, but people look at me and immediately think that they have to be rough with me. Relationship, friendship, like I don't know where the stigma comes from that like I don't have feelings, and he was very very gentle with me right away and still is till this day, and I knew that that was what I needed.
Is there a pet peeve that you had to disregard, but you never would have before him or her?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah. No. On to the next one. How do you handle conflict and triggers as a couple? Your partner will always trigger you, whether they intend to or not. What do both What do you both do to create a safe space to handle those triggers when they come? Communicate.
Yeah.
Um, she's very open with if I were to do something that triggered her. I'm very open with letting her know. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if she does something that triggers me. So just communication, honestly.
Yeah, and it does happen because we don't like I said, like it's not something intentional. It's sometimes from past traumas, and something happens and one of us get triggered, and we talk about it like, hey, I didn't like that, that triggered me, and it's always an apology after. And we never do anything um with ill intent towards each other at all. We're very loving and soft and gentle with each other.
How are you emotionally supportive to your partner? For you, it's being patient and allowing you to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing for you as well. Like I allow him to have feelings because there's this sick situation in society that says that that says that like men can't have feelings. So I think reassuring him that he's allowed to be soft around me, he's allowed to have feelings, and he's allowed to be vulnerable and emotional as well. And I think that helps. And we always check on each other's mental health every so often. Lately, it's been every day checking on
Sure.
each other's mental health.
Do you talk about values and what happens when they don't always align? Again, pretty much all of our values align. It was never really, not really much. Both don't really celebrate, holidays. We celebrate seasons,
Yeah. And
but
neither of us are religious at all. So that was helpful in the situation too. Um, yeah, everything kind of just aligns. And we do talk about values all the time. And all the time, it just kind of always align, if that makes sense.
how do we navigate co-parenting with the other parents? My oldest mom, We co-parent pretty well. They have
Yeah.
some hiccups here and there, but that's just no that because of no, non-communication.
Or if one of us lacks communication
Yeah,
somewhere and the other one just kind of
usually me.
and the other one just kind of has to go off of like what they suspect. But once again, communication always comes through. The the mother of the oldest child, she is very open, very understanding. And if there's a situation to where like, she doesn't understand or she's not open to it, we discuss, we talk, and we all parent that oldest one together. And I think all of us have a beautiful relationship, and it helps tremendously with our oldest, especially because she is pushing 14 and she is in the puberty stages and learning who she is. And so yeah, communication with her is really really good, and she's very open and understanding, and we're very open and understanding as well. um with Olivia, John is her dad.
Yeah,
So that's that.
we co-parent with myself pretty
We
well.
co-parent with him pretty well. So as far as any other parents, it's just the two of us when it comes to her, and that's that on that, and it is what it is, and we gonna move past that. With Christian, we are still trying to figure things out. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Co-parenting right now with that one is not in a good space, and we are working every single day. John's fighting every single day to make sure he could be the father that he can be to him, despite any person or anyone who may get in the way of that.
Basically, we'll just keep it at we're fighting still.
Hmm.
Don't want to say too much because
Fighting for Christian, not
yeah,
necessarily
yeah,
like
yeah,
physically
yeah,
fighting or
no,
anything like
no,
that.
fighting for
We're
Christian.
fighting for Christian,
It's still a fight. It's going to be an ongoing fight, but
probably for the next
we're not stopping.
probably for the next 11 years or so. We'll probably still be fighting, but I wish things could be better. I'll say that.
Are there still hard portions of the co-parenting, or have you guys hit a groove? Again, with the oldest,
Yeah,
we've
we're
kind of gotten into a good groove.
hmm
The other one, we're at like a brick wall.
we're working on it. That's that.
All right. How do you guys navigate the race thing? I am not 100% white. I am mixed. I am white passing now.
Yeah, and it says that too.
Yeah, it
It
does say that in
says
one of the questions. I know.
yeah,
Um, pro black in this family. What you
yeah.
talking about?
Despite his appearance, we are very pro black. We are aware that he is mostly white. He's aware that he's mostly white. There is no like identity crisis or anything like
No.
that. As far as
Very
how
much a
we
Viking.
as far
Real
as how
Viking.
we handle it, we get a lot of dirty looks still to this day, you would think, and a lot of very negative comments on his YouTube. A lot of racist
Yeah.
people that are just very angry to see it. And we
There's
just
there's a lot of racism, but there's also a lot of like
a lot of love.
love, but also negative love. Like
Mhm.
women saying like, "Oh yeah, I need to get me a white man. They know how to treat."
Mhm.
All men are dogs. Doesn't matter the race.
Right.
Men are dogs.
Right.
So, but in this household, like I said, I'm very much aware what goes on in this world.
Mhm.
Um, if there's anything that I can do, I will use my white privilege to protect my household and other injustice that I do see throughout the world. So
Um he's very 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 protective of us all, especially the women in our family. Um, he's very protective of the girls because he knows that they're going to see things in life that they shouldn't, solely because of their race. So, despite his appearance and despite my dating past, because people may know that I've dated other white men, um, but we are very pro black. Um, we do get a lot of shit for being an interracial couple, but he is part black. It's a small part, but he is part black because he was raised by his black grandfather. So he was still, even though he's white passing, he is still raised in the culture. Um, and as far as the hate goes, we address it how we need to address
I
it.
guess I could go into the next question. Like, how does that affect our relationship? It don't really affect us at all because
Mm, yeah, it doesn't
I have
affect
no idea.
us.
It don't really affect us.
It
We could
doesn't.
care less what people say on YouTube. We care less what people are probably gonna say on this video. But
And some people in our families,
yeah,
not necessarily his, that believe it or not, in
um,
my black ass family, people have things to say about the fact that my husband's white. One of my family members called him my slave owner. And okay.
my mom
Okay.
was just happy I found a woman that loves me.
And mind you, his mom is mixed.
Me and my
Um,
sisters, they all love her.
yeah, as long
They,
as he found somebody that loved
I
him and
think
was
my mom
happy.
like her more than she liked me.
That's not true. As long as he found someone who loved him and was supportive to him and held him down, his family didn't care because they're all mixed with all types of stuff. Like one of his sisters look Hispanic, so
It might be. We still don't know.
they're all mixed with all types of stuff. So it don't really
We have no
affect us
idea
at
what
all.
mumbo is. How did it affect the kids? We talk about it. It don't really affect them either. They
Yeah,
I think Liv has kids say something, but
yeah.
sh-
Not about your race though.
oh, did they
She's
call?
had friends about say stuff about your weight, but not your race. Um,
Okay,
we don't. As far as the
uh,
kids go, three of them are mixed, so it don't really us
yeah,
being black and white. It don't phase them at all. And Liv, she don't see that man's color. That's her dad. That's all that matters. That's my
that's
father.
my twin.
That's my daddy. That's all she knows. It doesn't really affect the kids. I don't think so. Will it in the future when they are introduced to the internet? Maybe, and we will make sure we prepare them for that.
As we already are, we talk about
Mm-hmm.
it a lot.
Yeah.
What's been our hardest hurdle so far? Child custody battle.
Yeah.
That's been
With one of the kids, like we just mentioned, is still a fight, and that's that. We're gonna move past
and
that.
prior to
Anything else,
that,
we're pretty good.
coming to Georgia,
Yeah,
that was probably
definitely.
one of the biggest mistakes.
Coming to Georgia, and there will be a video on that too. I had made a post not too long ago. Asking like who wanted to see a video on why we moved. I want to say 3 or 4 times in the past 2 years, and this move to Georgia is included in that, and it will be talked about. And it was a horrible, horrible decision. We're here and we're dealing with it, but we do have plans on going back down south there.
How have we gotten past that together? Um, Custody, not really getting past it yet. We're still doing it. So,
Mm,
but same with Georgia. Like we're still here, so we're not really past it. We are planning to leave Georgia, so we're going to be starting fresh again
yeah,
for the last and final time, hopefully.
how we're getting past it, I'll say that. Um, Leaning on each other every time. Every time there is a hurdle in our relationship, it just pulls us closer and makes us love each other even more. So we lean on each other a lot in our time of struggle, in our time of need. Um, Sorry, Jackson's talking. Yeah, so we lean on each other and we love each other.
Would you handle your portion differently today? I would. I would have listened to my wife from the beginning instead of just trying to handle everything on my own. I gotta realize we're a team and it's never alone anymore.
And he's doing better at that. He's doing better at that. He listens to me more now. And the same thing, like with the move to Georgia, that was predominantly my decision. Trying to come here and help a friend who's no longer a friend anymore. And he really didn't want to come at first. He was like, I'd rather do it a different way. But if you think this is the best thing for us, then I'll do it. So I want to say Yeah, we would have done both differently by hearing each other out a little bit more. And moving forward, we know that we are a team and we need to listen to each other.
What has been our biggest growth individually?
Our biggest what?
Growth as an individual. With
Um,
me, it's been school and sticking with school because there's so many times I wanted to give up, but a little over a year left.
for me, it would be kind of the same thing. School.
You got under a year.
Yeah, I got um 11 months left to go and I'll be graduating with my bachelor's in psychology. So that's been a big deal for us. Like school has been a big deal for us.
As a couple, I'll say getting married and staying married because
Yeah.
I've always heard that marriages fail within the first year. I feel like
I don't think we're going anywhere.
yeah, or is that businesses? That might be businesses. Never mind.
I
But no,
don't
yeah,
think we're going. I've
marriage is
heard
probably
marriages usually fail within the first 7 years.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
that's
been
probably
together. It'll be 3 years. We've been together, married for over a year. I don't see us breaking up, even though people bank on it for
yeah.
some weird reason. We've had quite a few people just kind of preying on our downfall as a couple. Like people that are close to us or people that know us personally, which is very interesting to me. But I have some unfortunate news for them. We ain't going nowhere. There's no breaking up, there's no divorcing. We're gonna stay together, and this is my family, and we love each other, and we're gonna continue to be supportive and lean on each other in hard times.
All right. And the last question is: do we have different views on race, sexual orientation, and religion? I guess we could just piggyback up off race. No. Oh my
Jackson,
God, Jack Jack.
get your little piggies off.
Race. No. Like I said, we're pro black in
Get
this family. Um, so there's really nothing different there.
No. Yeah, and we're not like so as far as the other races go, um we it's not really a topic. Our kids do love to explore other cultures, so if they
Yeah,
need information, we will look some things up.
we, we're big on other cultures.
Mhm.
We do other cultural dining all the time, like
Yeah,
whether
and we're
it's me cooking,
educational too. We try
um,
to educate each other.
introduce them to butter chicken.
Oh, so good. So good. My husband loves to cook, by the way, so we want to get some of that content in there to get your feet off.
Sexual orientation, again, no. Love who you love. Don't care who they are, or what color they are, as long as they
Hmm.
not shit.
Right.
They're
That's
if they're a not shit person,
we just pretty much tell the kids
yeah,
definitely. If you bring somebody home, we don't care if they're
make
yellow,
sure they're
purple,
good for
blue,
you.
man, woman, him, they, she, it, a cat,
Unless
whatever.
now, I don't know, them
If they
Therians,
identify as a cat,
them Therians
whatever.
and furries is a little weird for me, but
But that's okay. That's not we don't need to judge there. And if that's what they bring home, as long as they're being treated
as long
right,
as they're good people.
that's it. Um,
And
well,
religion,
yeah,
she's spiritual. I don't know, I'm agnostic, so there's really no conflict in that.
no. As far as like religion goes, the same thing with sexual orientation. Like, believe what you want to believe. I have one of our daughters that strongly believes in God. She doesn't believe in Jesus. She's back and forth with it sometimes, but I tell her like, despite what my beliefs are, because I don't
Yeah,
believe in Jesus, but despite what my beliefs are, it's not my job to push that on her. Um, I used to
mm,
be very Christian. I'm not Christian anymore. I
yeah.
am very spiritual. I do believe in God, and
I
I
was
do believe
Baptist. I was baptized.
in.
I
And we kind
believed in
of,
that, but it's just I don't know, not who I am. I just have different beliefs, and I'll never push that on the kids.
yeah.
One of them could be Muslim the next day, and it's like
Right.
What do I need to do to help this?
Support you in that
Yeah, support you
decision.
in this.
Yeah. Um yeah, we're not the type of parents that push anything on our kids except for being decent human beings. We
Yeah,
are very big on making sure they know right from wrong.
no bullies in this
No
house. No.
bullies. And we're very open with them too about like who we were as kids as well, and we kind of hope that they learn from that. But yeah, the only thing we push on them is to be decent human beings, and that's about it.
That's it.
That is it.
That
And
concludes the tech family talk.
it's a tech family. Um, First of all, I do want to thank everyone who sent us questions. I was not expecting to get so many questions. I was not expecting for this video to be over 30 minutes long.
Very long
So
video.
shout out to everybody that supported us and sending us questions, and definitely like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you have anything that you want to see or any ideas or anything you want to know about us, let us know down in the comment section. People that know me personally can text me or message me. But we're super, super excited to start this journey in our life and let you guys into the tech family so you can see how we just pretty much love on each other, because that's really all it is, just all love.
Heard the two crazies upstairs.
Yeah, and we gotta go because our kids are out of school and Jack's demanding attention.
Yeah.
Love you guys.